I am now in the old part of Syria's central city of Homs. This is Al Hamidiyya neighborhood, one of 13 neighborhoods in Old Homs. Thousands of people fled these areas in Old Homs when the war engulfed this place. However, some of them started returning to try to build what could be built from their homes and their lives. As we can move forward, we can take a look at some of the destruction here in this area. We can see this building, the roof is pancaked. It's now hitting the ground. We could still see some belongings of people here and there, even though 3 years have passed since this area was liberated from the rebels. The Syrian war that has been dragging on for over 6 years have deprived people from their lives and their homes. But some of them apparently found their way back. Of course, many of these buildings cannot be fixed because they need to be destroyed and rebuilt from scratch, but some places can be fixed. We can take a look at this. It's a hole in the ground. This is for the sewerage system. The militants used these underground links as passages between neighborhoods they used to control in this area. As we can see, some buildings are standing, largely destroyed, but there is only one thing in common. There are no windows. All of them are broken. We could still see also some sandbags from the time of the war here. The rebel fighters used these as shelters. And we could still see bullet holes everywhere. True that the fighting has ended in this place, but the scars of war are everywhere. However, we can still see some electricity lines here. Those are newly installed because throughout the last years, especially when the war was raging here, there was no electricity in this place, but now the government has reinstalled the electricity lines, and the few people who are still here or who have returned, they now have electricity. Okay, this building used to be a school. We can see it, it's largely destroyed, and the gate is still standing amid the rubble. We can still see some student desks here, and what used to be a basketball court. Of course, it will take many years to rebuild this place. Also, here on this side of the road, this also used to be a house, but now only the front wall is standing And this what used to be the entrance of the house. We can still see the rocks here, the rubble inside. Okay, and we see a war jet overhead because some battles are taking place in northern Syria. So people here, even though the war has ended in this part of the city or in this part of the country, but people still could still hear the warplanes, the hovering, and sometimes the shelling in nearby areas. Of course, the entire city of Homs is now empty of rebels, and it's entirely back under the government control. But some areas in the northern countryside is still controlled by the militants. Here it seems like also a barrier from the wartime. It apparently separates one neighborhood from another. As we can see, destruction is everywhere. It will take many, many years for this to be fixed and rebuilt again. Of course, when we see this kind of destruction, we think about the numbers of people who have fled this area and other destroyed areas in Syria. As some estimates say that around 6 million people are internally displaced in Syria, while 5 million others are refugees outside of the country. Of course, the government now is calling for the reconstruction of Syria, is boosting this trend to fix the destroyed places here and in other parts of the country. We see some ducks here. Maybe this is the first sign of life we've seen so far in this part of this neighborhood. Let's move closer and get to the bottom of this story. Okay, this building, which is still blackened by the battles here, but we can still see some the shops have somehow been repaired. There's a guy inside. Let's get in and talk to him. يعطيك العافية. مرحبا. هذا المحل لكم؟ ايه. هو حضرتك ولا هو صح؟ يعطيك العافية. كيفك؟ عرفنا بحضرتك؟
نعم.
عرفنا بحضرتك؟
ربيع السحلول.
ربيع السحلول.
نعم.
حضرتك هون شو نجار؟
من سكان أهل الحارة.
من سكان أهل الحارة.
نجار.
His name is Rabia. He's a carpenter. He's one of the residents of this neighborhood. حكينا شوي شو عم تساوي هون؟ قديش صار لك راجع على هاي المنطقة؟
تقريبا سنة و7 أشهر. تمام. فتحت ورشة نجارة وبدأنا بالعمل الحمد لله رب العالمين.
تمام. He said that he returned to this area around a year and a half. He reopened his shop and started working. هلا انت هدول الطلبات الخشب الابواب وكذا لحدا قريب هون كمان؟
تمام بالضبط. تمام. عم يرمموا بدأوا بالترميم وإعادة الإعمار وعم نشتغل لهم.
He said that he create these doors and maybe tables for the people who started returning to this place and repair their houses. هذا المحل كان محلك قبل الحرب؟
بالضبط.
وقديش تركته؟
من 2011 بداية 2011 وعدنا تقريبا وقت
يعني 4 سنين تقريبا غبت؟
بالضبط تقريبا 4 سنين.
وهو مبين كأنه قديم المحل؟
بناء قديم من الأجداد يعني من الوالد. هو محل الوالد بعدين محلي صار.
Okay, so he inherited this workshop from his father. He left it when the war started, and he stayed away for 4 years before returning to reopen it and to be a part of the reconstruction that has been taken place by the people who live here. احكي لنا شوي لما اجيت كيف لقيت محلك؟
ومحل مدمر بشكل
شو
محروق اول شيء. الحريق هو يعني كان في اخشاب، كان في اخشاب وكان في مكانات عداد، فكله محروق كان. فعملت تنظيف، وفي جدار يعني جدران كانت مهدمه رجعت عمرتها، وقدرت اني اجيب شويه مكانات مستعمله وبدات بالعمل.
So he said when he returned here after departing for 4 years, he found his place entirely burned because, of course, he had some wood storage inside. Some walls were destroyed as well. He rebuilt them, and he also bought some second-hand machinery to help him in his work. شو في عندك كمان جوا؟ شو في بهذاك القسم؟ هذا قسم من البناء؟
قسم من البناء داخلي. تفضل.
هذا كله بناء قديم ولا اثري يعتبر؟
بالضبط.
اثري يعني ولا قديم؟
تمام تمام بالضبط. قديم، بناء قديم.
Okay, so this is the an inside look of the building, which we can still see destruction, but it's still standing. هلا هذا البناء إذا بده ينبنى لازم ينهد ولا بيتصلح؟
ممكن يتصلح يترمم.
He said that this building, even though it's largely destroyed, can be fixed without being completely demolished.
صاير مزيج بين القديم والحديث.
The construction of this building is a mixture between the old and modern buildings. احكي لنا شوي انت شو اللي رجعك لهون وكيف يعني شو الشيء اللي اعطاك دافع انك ترجع؟
بلدي وحبي للوطن واهلي وناسي وحارتي غاليه علي ووطني غالي علي، فاكيد يعني ما حدا يعني
انت من الناس القليله اللي رجعوا، ولما رجعت لهون كيف عندك دافع؟
اول واحد كنت بالحاره. هون بالشارع انا اول واحد كنت بالحاره بالنسبه للعمل وللسكن.
He said he was the first to return to this area, to his home and to his shop, and he was driven by hope and by the love of his neighborhood. احكي لنا شوي لما كنت انت بعيد عن هذا الحي شو كنت عم تفكر؟
اكيد عم فكر يعني تفكيري ما انقطع، عم فكر امتى بدها تخلص الحرب عشان اقدر بس ارجع لبيتي واقدر ارجع لعملي.
طيب انت بتفضل السكنه بهذا المحل مدمر عن السكنه برا؟
اكيد.
ليه؟
اكيد عشت هون، ربيت هون، يعني موطني، يعني اكيد ما حدا اي مكان ما حيقدر يعوضني عن وطني وبلدي.
He said that he'd rather live here in this largely destroyed place than to live somewhere else because this is where he was born, this is where he was raised, and he was driven by the love of and the attachment with this area. احكي لنا شوي عن عندك زوجة أولاد، عندك متزوج؟
تمام بالضبط، عندي زوجي وعندي 4 أولاد، شاب و3 بنات.
He's a father of 4. وين ساكن انت حضرتك؟
انا هلا ساكن ببيتي فوق.
بيتك هون
بالطابق اللي فوق المنشرة.
الطابق اللي فوق المنشرة. He also live here. His house is in the first floor, right over his workshop. فينا نطلع على البيت اللي عندك ونتفرج؟
تفضل.
Okay, so he will take us now to see his house. كمان بيتك انت صلحته ما هيك ولا؟
جزء منه مو كامل، كان مدمر.
His house was also burned and he repaired parts of it. الطقس بارد هون، كيف عم تدفوا؟ He said the only way of getting warm in this cold winter is by burning firewood. قبل ما نطلع على البيت احكي لنا شوي عن البط اللي هون. هذا شو إلك هدول؟
هدول إلنا بالضبط.
شو خطر ببالك؟
بس إعادة حياة، بس إعادة، لأن وقت إجيت لهون ما كان في شيء
فحسيتهم هدول مثل عم بيعطوا حياة للمنطقة؟
بالضبط. أي إنسان ممكن يجي من رأس الشارع، من بداية الشارع، بيلاقي إنه في وناس، في عالم رجعت، في حياة رجعت، ما بس البني آدم رجع، يعني حتى الحيوان رجع.
These ducks are his, and he brought them here when he first returned because the place was lifeless. So he needed a sign of life in this place. So he brought the ducks when they were so small, and he raised them here to give life to this lifeless place. We see some ducks and chicken as well. And some pigeons. هدول كمان إلك؟ لما الناس تيجي لهون بيشوفوا البط شو بيقولوا لك؟
بتفائلوا كثير وبيحاولوا يتصوروا معهم، ويعني بيوعدونا بالرجعة والعودة.
Some of his old neighbors, when they come here, they get so optimistic by the scene of the ducks and pigeons. He said that they take photos with them, and then they promised that they would return one day. Okay, بنطلع عندك على البيت لنشوف. هذا الباب كان موجود؟
كان مدمر واقع، ورجعت عملت له تصليح.
He also fixed the front gate of this building. وهذا الدرج كمان انت صلحته ولا؟ He also fixed the staircase here.
البيت بسبب الدمار والحريق كان أسوأ من هذا.
Okay, he said his house used to be worse than this house. This was his neighbor's house. He said his house was worse than this one. But he made some reparations and fixed it somehow. Okay, from approaching his house, we can see that the doors are new. The doors are new. انت اشتغلتوا هدول ما هيك؟ He made the new door and fixed what could be fixed. يعني مظبط منيح في البيت، بس الارض كانه لساتها خافسه فيه.
بالضبط، النار، الحريق فوق حريق تحت.
We can, as we can see, new paints and windows. This is maybe the first window we've seen since we came here. قديش كلفك تصليح هذا البيت؟ او مثلا انت قديش اخذ معك وقت؟ خلينا نقول
سنة تقريبا، سنة.
It took him a year to repair his house. طيب انت يعني ليش انت من الناس القليله اللي رجعت؟ ليش ما في كثير ناس رجعت؟
ما بعرف شو ظروفها هي، ما بعرف شو ظروفها يعني كل مين له ظرف وكل مين له ترتيب وكل مين.
Okay, this is the bedroom, and he's using this heater to get warm. هي بتشغل عليها شو؟ حطب. He used firewood to turn on this heater. بالليل ما بتحس بالوحشة؟ ولا تعودت؟
تعودت خلاص. قاعد بالبيت واكيد والله ما بس انه غريب.
He said that he doesn't feel strange spending the night in this house because it's his, and he's happy that he returned. So as we can see, Rabi' is one of the examples of the very few people who returned. عندك فكرة قديش عدد الناس اللي رجعت؟ جيرانك على القليلة مثلا؟
تعداد عائلات؟
ايه عائلات مثلا؟ ايه
بحدود 7 عائلات. 7
عائلات. لهذا الشارع.
بالضبط بهذا الشارع.
He said 7 families have so far returned to this street. انت كنت تجيب عمال ولا انت بايدك تشتغل؟
لا اغلبيتها انا.
Most of the reparation work was done by him alone. بس والله معناتها عندك إرادة حديدية انك ترجع تعمل هذا الشيء لحالك. Okay, so as we have seen so far, the life amid the ruins, how people like this guy have a strong will to live again. He gives hope to people by his hard work. He's also a sign of life in this place.